Good morning, everybody. I'm just playing a random game of Stardew Valley to just talk about stuff that's been happening over the week. The main thing that's been happening over the week is the work or the lead up to a evaluation meeting for work. This is a farm that I started offline, by the way, so if this doesn't look familiar to you, that's because I never played this on stream. I do have some crabs, though. Look at that. I want 5 solar essence. Maybe we'll get that at some point. And you guys want Omni Geodes. Alright. We'll see about that. Anyway, just going to randomly do some stuff around the farm as I talk. I don't have any crops. I don't even recall not having crops here. Okay, that's interesting. I have a farm with just fish and chickens. Alright, fine. Anyway, so yeah, I had to have a work evaluation thing. I had a year contract with this new place that I work at. And this is, by the way, a add-on. This, the hearts you can see over people's heads so they can actually... Oh, there's an egg here. You can see whether the animal has been pet yet or not. And I need some of this right there. Okay. Very handy. There you go. You guys have some food. I'm going to throw this in here. I have a duck egg. I still need to put in an incubator, which I don't have yet. Alright, so... I started last year, July 1st, so my yearly contract is about to expire, and so we were going to have a work evaluation meeting, which I thought was kind of interesting. Also, the way that they announced that I was going to have a meeting was a little bit suspicious. I actually had heard in a previous meeting with the owner... Oh, I already have this one? Wow. I forgot everything about this save. So here's where I'm growing my crops. Right, that makes sense. We had a earlier meeting in the year about just having, just to see what was up and if I needed anything like any help or any training and stuff like that. Oh, I thought there were gaps here, but apparently not. Okay, fine. I'll put it back. And during that meeting, which was in, I think, February or something, the boss, the CEO, actually said to me, like, oh, well, you know, your contract expires sometime in June. No need to worry about the like everything ending here. We're just going to keep continuing you because everything's going fine and stuff like that. So he had already said that, and the assumption was that that would be an indefinite contract. So like a contract for an indefinite amount of time. We call that a steady contract. I've got the door open, so if you hear like stuff in the background, that's because people are moving around in the neighborhood. And so a week or two ago there was an issue with something that I had done and they were not happy with that, and now suddenly they were like, oh, by the way, we have an evaluation meeting planned. We're going to do a work evaluation meeting, and it would be good if you were to write down a couple of things that you feel like you can work on, like things you can develop, stuff like that, and then in the sense of things that really need improvement, not like, hey, I'd like to study this or I'd like to study that. So I was very like, that doesn't sound good, because I still remember that conversation we had in February where they had basically said like, oh, no need to worry about anything because everything's fine and all that. And during the work evaluation meeting, which was yesterday, they spent most of the time talking about things that had not gone well. So that already made me even more suspicious, because I had picked up on a few things. For instance, the fact that the work evaluation meeting was not announced until I had a meeting with the guy that I normally have my dailies with, and that was about something negative, which is also when he started talking about improvement points and stuff like that. So I was already a little bit suspicious of this work evaluation meeting, and of course the moment they started to talk about all the negative things and wouldn't really talk too much about all the good stuff that I'd done, because they made it seem like I hadn't done anything good the entire year. It's like they mentioned a little bit like, oh yeah, you did this thing, oh that was good, I guess, that was handy, and anyway, this other thing didn't go very well, and what do you see about this? What do you see your future being about this? Can you do this type of work? Can you improve in that area? Like that type of talk. Like everything that I was doing was wrong, or at the very least I felt like I was once again reapplying for the job. By the end of the chats, they were like, oh, there's some financial issues going on. We're not really sure what our company's going to end up bringing in this year, so we're going to offer you another year contract, and then we'll see about it next year, and then probably you'll get an indefinite one. But also I had to do meetings, like updated meetings for next year, like every 6 or 8 weeks. In other words, to see how I'm progressing and stuff like that, which to me really sounds like they have no faith in me for whatever reason, which could be that they really don't think that I'm good at anything, even though I would say the evidence is to the contrary. Oh, a smallmouth bass. Because I have been doing a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff that I'm still going to do, because there's some projects coming up that they really need me for and that sort of thing. So I was like really not happy with that. And the 6 to 8 week meetings really sound like they're either trying to build a dossier or something, because it kind of comes across like, okay, there's some financial issues, maybe because they haven't been able to pull in the clients that they were expecting. Hey, I left the bear here. I didn't really want it anywhere else. And the skeleton's here too. And if that were the only reason why they're giving me a year contract, they probably would have just said, oh, because of financial reasons, we're just going to give you a year contract. Don't worry, it's not that we don't want to keep you, but it's just like we're not really sure about the future, la la la. And that would have been it, and we would just continue the way we were doing before. But instead of that, with the 6 to 8 week meetings, it really seems a little bit like HR file building. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I had that with a couple jobs back where they were trying to get rid of people, and even people that were just doing their job right, but they had too many people overall. Oh, we got the panning thing. I was wondering where my copper pan was, because I saw that we had a little sparkly thing in the water at the farm, but I didn't actually have the pan. So we could go and pan for that if it's still there. I don't know. Let's go check. So back then they had more people than they were apparently able to afford, and that meant they started harassing people, and I turned out to be one of the people that ended up on the list of we need to get rid of this one. And even though I did my work perfectly fine, and all my work evaluation meetings and stuff like that, and the documents that they made over that all said that I did my work fine, they did keep like harassing me about the type of level of education that I had, and didn't I want to go ahead and get a bachelor's degree in this or that, and when can you start, and that sort of thing. Just keep like harassing me about these things that I really didn't want to do, because it's like this, that the training that they were offering was something that you would have to do for at least 2 years, and then you have to spend several hours every night studying and doing assignments and stuff like that, and then of course at least once a week you have to go to school in the evenings, stuff like that. And that was a huge investment, time-wise and energy-wise, that I was not willing to put in, because I was like already kind of running into a burnout, and I didn't want to put more effort in than I could realistically put in. I've got everything split up here. I hate when I do chests differently than I'm used to, because I have to figure out where I'm going to put everything. Looks like this is all non-organic, and that means my other stuff has to go here. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put the fish here too, and we got some wood, and well, maybe I'll sell these actually. Don't need these. That goes over there, and the hops goes into the other thing. I have morals here. I've got morals, you guys. Morals and values. So I was constantly being pushed to do things that I didn't want to do, and that would cost me too much energy, and would probably for sure put me in a burnout, because I was really close to a burnout anyway, as I said. Do I need more things here? And they kept doing that and suggesting that I go on different I wouldn't call them courses, but you have like these coaching sessions that they would put you on to help you supposedly find out what it is that you're truly interested in. So they offered a job coach, and I was like, okay. Initially I was like, okay, this sounds fine. I'm pretty sure that I may get some type of benefit out of seeing a job coach, but their idea was we'll send them to have like 5 or 6 sessions with a job coach, and then they have to have a plan, and that plan has to end with them basically leaving the company, and that'll be that, and we are rid of this one, like that. But they didn't actually tell me that. They just said, oh, go ahead and can't, or at least plan a few sessions with this job coach, and then you'll have a better idea of what you like and what your passions are, la la la, and that'll help you, and this, that, and the other thing. So I was like annoyed with the job coach when I was at the end of the 5th session, and they hadn't actually told me what the plan was. So I thought, okay, we're just going to have a couple sessions, and we're going to eventually come up with a plan or something. And every time that I walked into a session, it felt to me like we were starting over. Like the previous session, they had asked me to do something, and I had done that, come up with some description of something or another, or filled out a questionnaire or whatever it is that they wanted me to do. And then the next session, that was completely ignored, and we were on to another thing. And what about this? And what about that? So at the end of the 5th session, it's like, okay, I pulled up my agenda, like, okay, when's the next one going to be? And she was like, oh, they didn't tell you that? Actually, this is the last one. I was like, what? I mean, I don't have anything right now. There's no results here. Like, what am I supposed to do with all of this? So after that, the boss, of course, started to ask me about the sessions and like, oh, where's your plan? What's your exit strategy? What are you going to do? What's the future going to look like? And I'm like, I don't really have a clue, because honestly, I didn't really get too much out of the session, but they really wrote that down in my file as in, oh, we've supplied them with job coaching, and that means that they are now capable of leaving on their own and shouldn't be too long, that type of thing. Of course, I didn't write that down like word for word, because in HR dossiers, you know that they're always very not very descriptive. They have their code words for things, for sure. And so they kept pushing and pushing and offering different types of coaching and stuff like that, until I actually did find a way out, where I got another job in another place, and I was gone from there. And they all, a bit to the last moment, they were basically pretending that they had done me a service, but in actuality, I had been basically trying to fight being shoved out the door before I was ready for about 2 years. So that was great, really lovely. So that is the HR cycle. And I mean, there's usually an HR cycle when things go well for you. What it basically is every year you get a work evaluation, and if they like you, then you'll get a good work evaluation, and you might be able to get a raise or something to talk about that, talk about other things that you might be able to get as benefits, etc. And then you go back to work, and the next year you have the same thing again. I'd had that for a very long time. I always had good work evaluations and good grades, so to speak, because I do like give you a grade like number at the end of that. I'd always been really good at that. I've always done my work really well. And 1 year before, or the year or two before, I think we had a different boss at that time, I actually got like this, they were doing these, what would you call that? They were doing these tests, and you would get like a certain type of phrase out of that would denote what type of worker you were. It could be that you were a contributor, meaning that you just did your job right. It could be that you were, I don't know, some type of superstar, whatever the term was for that, like somebody who was a really good salesperson, like you're doing really great and you deserve a bonus and stuff like that. And they had actually put me in the rising star list, which meant that I was ready to basically get promoted or something, or at least take the next step in my career, that type of thing. So that was like less than 2 years ago that they gave me that evaluation. So suddenly to have an evaluation that said you're not performing properly, and then having everything in the evaluation which was actually work related to be fine, and the only real thing that was the issue was that they thought that I was limiting myself, which is basically HR speak for we don't think that you're a fit here anymore, so you need to go. That was really annoying. So this work evaluation as well, where they only really talked about all the stuff that they thought was wrong with me and ignoring all the good stuff that I'd done, and even trying to make some of the good stuff that I'd done seem like I had been too impulsive and stuff like that, like I just do things randomly and they were never actually expecting me to do it, and therefore they were caught off guard and blah blah blah. That was really annoying as well. Why am I saving up my wine? Maybe for the great display? I don't know. I'll throw a nice star fruit into the keg. That sounds like a good idea. And there you go. And now it is the end of the day, and the dog has been inside all day long. Alright, very good. So that was really annoying and really set off a lot of alarm bells. So now I'm thinking, okay, I've got another year, and it's not likely that I'll probably get a contract at the end of that, because right now I really feel like they have no confidence in me, and there may be a part in that has to do with their financial situation not being great, but I just feel like they've openly expressed that they really don't feel like I'm going to be a good fit in the long run. So I'm thinking I need to go and figure something out that I can do to replace this. And I don't really want to go for another regular job, because honestly I don't really want to get stuck in this HR cycle again. I just want to be more independent. So I'm trying to figure out if I can maybe do something like a side hustle or something along those lines, maybe sell stuff on Etsy or something. So I'm going to spend the year trying to figure out if I can do that, and then just get my finances sorted out and be independent. Let's see what I put in the cave. I think I put bats, but I'm not sure. Hello. Let me also give you some water. So that I don't actually have to rely on somebody in some company having some plan. Yeah, I got fruit bats. And then me either fitting or not fitting in his plan, and basically having my livelihood be dependent on whether they like me or not. So I'm gonna have to figure it out in the next year. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about this week. While I have nice game playing in the background just for a little bit of distraction. Hope you enjoyed that video. Just drop a comment in the comment section below. That'd be great. In any case, make sure to have a nice weekend. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.